Hello, and welcome back. I apologize for the long delay in episodes, as soon after I started this venture, I found out that I was pregnant. Which is great, but I pretty much slept for all of November and December, so not super conducive to recording new episodes. I was going to go through witchcraft vocabulary this episode, but realized it was going to sound much more like I was reading out of a dictionary, so instead of boring you, I opted to move forward one episode to discussing a common witchcraft symbol and the Wiccan talisman, the Pentagram. As I come across new words or words I choose to define in later episodes, I will make sure to do so to make up for the last episode and to help you understand as we go along. But for now, I'm your hostess Danielle, and welcome to AWitchAlone. First, to understand the symbol, you need to understand that while it is a talisman that has been heavily adopted by the Wiccan and pagan culture, it is not specific to it. The word actually breaks down from Greek. Penta meaning 5, and gram meaning something written or a drawing. When put together, it translates simply to something written involving 5. Many cultures actually used this symbol, and it meant different things depending on the background. In ancient Sumeria, it was not a religious symbol at all, but a word used in their language that meant a corner or angle. It was used in the 6th century BCE by one Pherecydes of Syros to symbolize 5 recesses of cosmology. It could be seen sometimes in the Far East because of the 5 Chinese elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Pythagoras used the pentagram to symbolize man, using it figuratively because of the points representing the arms, legs, and head. When Pythagoras and his teachings were driven underground, the pentagram became the way students identified each other. The Greeks used it to represent their belief of the energy that made up the physical body: matter, breath, energy, fluids, and soul, or earth, air, fire, water, and ether, respectively. It can even be found at the beginning of the organized religions. In ancient Judaism, it was a mystic symbol relating to the top portion of the Tree of Life in Kabbalah, and standing for the 5 books of the Torah. Even early Christians utilized the pentagram heavily, symbolizing Christ's 5 wounds. The Star of Bethlehem was believed to be a pentagram. It can be seen in authorial legends on knights' shields and things, used as a Christian symbol of protection, not a pagan symbol. It was their primary symbol before the cross. The pentagram has such a long-standing ancient history of use, ranging from perfection in maths, the human body, words, and use in religious rituals and magic. So when did the pentagram get such a bad rap? There may not have been organized witchcraft hundreds of years ago, but there were those who used magic. They were mostly rumors and underground. It just wasn't considered real, quote-unquote, in those days, or not real enough. The 14th and 15th centuries saw a rise of occult practices that were rooted in Judeo-Christian mysticism, and those who practiced borrowed the symbols from those practices. People who took part in this practice started to be accused of heresy, which trickled down to paganism, Satan worship, and witchcraft. Some symbols were deemed heretic, and if you didn't want to be accused or hung or burned, you didn't use them. By Victorian times, the witch hunt was dialing down, and people forgot that certain heretic symbols used to be prominent in Christianity, especially the pentagram. It was now solely an evil symbol associated with Satan, paganism, and witchcraft. So how do we differentiate between the satanic symbol, the pentagram, and the pentacle? While this may be argued, the naming of the 5-pointed star in the circle can be either pentagram or pentacle. When breaking down the roots of the words, the only difference is that of a Greek derivative or a Latin derivative. The pentacle was actually the name for an altar tool, a flat, round disc of paper that had a protective symbol on it. Most witches or Wiccans will inscribe the pentagram on it, but there are so many protective symbols out there that this is not exclusive. Pagans and Wiccans adopted this altar tool, kept the name, but changed the purpose from the Judeo-Christian purpose of calling and or commanding spirits to one of simple protection. The satanic symbol is an inverted pentagram, or at least the head of a goat that is inside an inverted pentagram. Many Wiccans and witches, myself included, have no qualms about using an inverted pentagram in my practice when it is required. There are lots of ways to draw the symbol to help increase its ability depending on what you need. If you are okay with using the inverted pentagram, then simply doing so can be used as a banishing symbol, while the upright pentagram is used as an invoking or protection symbol. There is also the direction in which you draw the pentagram to invoke the elements, and so in order to banish or release them, drawing it in the opposite direction would do just fine. These practices are not required, but can be used quickly if you get used to it. It is all, of course, how you connect with a certain part of your practice. The argument and discussion on pentagram versus pentacle will probably never stop, and I can only discuss the information I have personally come across and found in researching for this episode, learning things I didn't even know before. Hopefully, when someone asks about the symbol being evil, if you choose to wear it in the open, you will have the education and facts for the conversation. There's not much else I can say on the subject of pentagram versus pentacle. Call it whatever you want, but if you're going to wear it with pride, and wear it with knowledge. Keep this information. Whip out the episode and make somebody listen to it, should they choose to assume. This brings us to the end of the episode. This will be a bi-weekly podcast, so make sure to subscribe and turn your notifications on. Next time we will be going over some tips and tricks to practice your craft if you are in the broom closet. This episode was brought to you by the tarot card, the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is a card of joy and emotional fulfillment. Your excitement radiates, and it's as if your cups are overflowing to everyone around you. Open your heart to fully experience these sensations and do not doubt this power. Let your energy shine. If you're on Instagram or Twitter, swing by my page under the same name, AWitchAlone. And if you follow, make sure you say hi. I love meeting new followers. Until next episode, blessed be.